All right, Kyle Heap on the mountain in the red lane, racer number 217, Evanston, Wyoming, riding Polaris, followed by Chad Adams and Tavern Rupp. We are qualifying final in 600 improved right now, and all racers in the return lane, there is a fence there for a reason. You're not supposed to go under. Do not go under that fence for any reason. We got skiers up here. Safety our number one priority. If you stay to the left of it, you'll wind up right in the tech area.
I was just going to say, if you stay to the left, you'll be in the safe zone.
All right, Kyle Heap coming in with 5.644, 56.44. Up next, racer number 961, Chad Adams, Billings, Montana, riding Polaris, followed by Tavern Rupp and Rob Kincaid. Chad Adams on the mountain. Montana racer. All right. Chad Adams up and over, but unfortunately, all right. Didn't get a time on Chad Adams. We're going to bring him back down and re-ride.
And same with Taylor Peck. We're going to bring her down and send both of those guys back up here after a few. We're just going to make sure that those timing lights are starting. They're having some intermittent, I'll call it spaz outs.
Sounds like a good technical term.
Right?
A spaz. Yeah, it's having a spasm.
They're just having a spasm real quick, and they just don't catch the start. So we're going to just double check that and get them going again.
The Rocky Mountain States Hill Climb Association storms into 2018. Witness the most intense high-speed technical riding on the planet with the top international snowmobile hill climb athletes. For dates, location, and sponsorship information, find us online at RMSHA.net. That's RMSHA.net. Follow us on Facebook for live updates. Climb to new heights with RMSHA.
It's been there for it all. Every corner, every carve, and every time you've taken it all in. It's the heart racing in your chest, the hairs standing on the back of your neck, and the reason you keep coming back for more.
All right, Tavern Rupp off and running. We will bring Chad Adams back for a reride, but right now, racer number 192, Tavern Rupp. Tremont riding Polaris.
And in the blue lane, I think we'll have number 430, Ashlyn Wood out of Big Timber, Montana, on Arctic. She will be followed by Sammy Rogers, Whitney Archibald, and Shelly Balls. And then I think we'll probably put Taylor Peck back in the rotation, but we'll let you know for sure.
Gate 12.
$59.66, 5966 for Tavern Rupp. All right, Chad Adams back on the line. We're going to run Chad Adams, give him his re-ride. There we go, Chad Adams. Racer number 961, Billings, Montana.
Oh no, she was so close to the top and had to turn out. For Ashlyn Wood, she's going to get a high mark. We'll let you know exactly what that is. And they're going to call that gate 13 since she wasn't able to stay within the lanes there. Up next, we're going to have number 330, Sammy Rogers out of Camas, Utah on a skidoo, followed by Whitney Archibald, Shelly Balls, and I think Taylor Peck, but I'll let you know for sure.
Oh, dear. Chad Adams.
That's not the right way.
Yeah.
Dang it, hate when that happens.
Dang it. 10.3 going to be the high mark for Chad Adams with 10.3. $10.3 going to be Chad Adams' high mark. Up next, race number 103, Rocky Mountain Rob Kincaid out of Victor, Idaho, riding Articat. Going to be followed by Ian St. John and Dave McClure.
And I'm sorry, I was wrong. We are putting Taylor Peck in, number 105, out of Rigby, Idaho, on a Polaris. She is doing her re-ride right now, and the clock has started, so this will be a clean run.
All right, Rob Kincaid making his way up the hill. Internet superstar right here, Rob Kincaid.
And in the blue lane, Taylor Peck comes in with a 107.06, 107.06 for Taylor Peck. Up next, number 330, Sammy Rogers out of Camas, Utah on a Skidoo, followed by Whitney Archibald, Shelly Balls, and Brianna Brew.
Oh, man. What a deal just happened to Rob Kincaid right there. Lost his feet. Kind of Superman over to gate 11, I believe that is. Looking at his snowmobile, talking to it. .10.5 going to be the high mark for Rocky Mountain Rob Kincaid. Dag nabbit. That was a rough deal right there. Getting ready to go next with racer number 111, Ian St. John, Kellogg, Idaho, riding Arctic Cat, followed by Dave McClure and Brandon Tittenser. Well, it didn't take long.
And Sammy Rogers is laying it down with a 59.32, 59.32 for Sammy Rogers. Up next, number 829, Whitney Archibald out of Smithfield, Utah on an Arctic Cat, followed by Shelly Balls, Brianna Brew, and wrapping up your women's six stock will be Taylor Myers. We'll be moving into amateur stock. Braden Brew, Dylan Hart, Dallin Ruffing, and Cole Thomas be ready to go.
Oh, shoot.
He just dropped like another foot.
Yeah.
That's going to take a minute to get out of there, I think.
Dug her in pretty good for Ian St. John there.
Dang it.
Kellogg, Idaho racer on Arctic Cat. Well.
Oh, shoot. He's almost got it out by
Yeah,
himself.
just
That's
about.
impressive.
Hill Health's like, well, why did we run down here? We got to go clear the heck
Right?
back
They got to
up.
climb back up when it's done.
10.2 going to be the high mark for Ian St. John. 10.2. Got a new tough spot developing up there as these trenches change after every racer goes.
Yeah, you never know when you're going to find a new hole.
They do some new sculpting, basically. That's a lot of horsepower and a whole lot of
Movement.
contact area with those tracks.
Absolutely.
Got a bit of a tough spot developing there at gate, just after gate number 10 as we get ready to go with racer number 150, Dave McClure, Swan Valley, Idaho, riding Arctic Cat, followed by Brandon Tittenser and Cody Monroe.
108.54, 108.54 for Whitney Archibald. That's good enough to put her in third so far. Up next, number 17, Shelly Bowles out of Smoot, Wyoming on a Polaris, followed by Brianna Brew, and Taylor Myers will wrap up your sixth stock for women. Up next, we'll have amateur stock, Braden Brew, Dylan Hart, Dallin Ruffing, Cole Thomas. Be ready, gentlemen.
Ooh, just a little bit of a hiccup there. Dave McClure, tough
Recovering nicely,
course.
though.
Very tough course.
So it's not necessarily going across the old tracks, but it's the shelf that it creates on the far side.
Exactly.
That creates the problem and makes it very difficult to get up and through the old course.
And I know that all the racers watching right now, so that's what's developing right here is that big trench, too.
Exactly.
And it's hanging up. They're not getting the full contact of the track right there. If you can stop Dave McClure on a hill, you got a tough track.
Yep. That's a pretty deep hole, I think.
10.5 something on that one. .52. 10.52. Up next, racer number 62, Brandon Tittenser, getting to the starting line from Afton, Wyoming. 600 improved stock is what we're finaling, 600 improved stock. Brandon Tittenser, another member of that prestigious climb backcountry team. Official member right here, getting ready to go. Brandon Tittenser, Afton, Wyoming, riding Polaris, going to be followed by Cody Monroe and Les Keller.
And in the blue lane, we have a 59.50, 59.50 for Shelly Balls in women's 600 stock. That's good enough to put her in second place so far. Up next, number 416, Brianna Brew out of Missoula, Montana on a Polaris. She's part of Team Brewski, one of our sponsors for today's event. Up next, we'll have Taylor Myers. She will wrap up your women's 600 stock and will be straight into amateur stock with Braden Brew, Dylan Hart, Dallin Ruffing, and Cole Thomas.
I'll be dang, that is a long ways away.
That is. So we're not just a national organization. We are now officially an international organization.
We are
and
international.
Kayla Thomas is in Romania, and she is wishing the Thomases, Team Thomas, good luck. Number 401, number 112, number 120, and number 104. Good luck from Romania. I don't know if that's a cousin or a sister or something.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure. That's pretty darn impressive.
That's pretty
though.
cool.
That's for a Star Valley family to have somebody in Romania. That I didn't even know they let them leave Star Valley for very long.
Well, usually for 2 years or so.
Yeah. Oh, gotcha. That could be.
Usually, a lot of them have missions, so
Yeah, true
a lot of
story.
them go nationally, internationally.
I don't need them this second.
All right. After all that, I think we finally got Dave McClure dug out. Wow. That
took a minute.
Yeah.
He dug down real deep.
So this is going to be interesting. Brandon Tittenser just about going to have to cut another line to get through that. We'll see what happens. Racer number 62, Brandon Tittenser. Speaking of Star Valley, Afton, Wyoming, Riding Polaris, followed by Cody Monroe and Les Keller.
And Taylor Myers is going to be up in the blue lane, number 27 out of Soda Springs, Idaho on a Polaris. She will wrap up your women's 600 stock. And just so you know, the official high mark for Brianna Brew was 11.1. That's 11.1 for Brianna. Up next, we're going to have amateur stock. Out first is supposed to be Braden Brew. However, he and Brianna are sharing a sled. So we may move him down. Or we may end up. Actually, he'll probably ride since we have a quick little break in between. There's probably enough time for Brianna to get off the hill. And so Braden Brew will probably be first. Dylan Hart, Dallin Ruffing, Cole Thomas. Get ready, gentlemen.
All right, here we go. Afton, Wyoming racer headed up the hill right now. Brandon Tittens are part of the Climb backcountry team. One of the top backcountry riders you're ever going to find anywhere on the mountain. All right, here we go. Brandon Tinser, he's at gate 9. Let's keep an eye on gate number 10. Send him all the good vibes you can right here, because that is a sled trap. Taking the uphill side, and he is through it. That's what I'm talking about. Wow.
Don't take your eyes off the screen.
When we say technical riding,
this is definitely technical.
The toughest you're going to find in the world right here. Brandon Tinser with 57, 78, 5, 7, 7, 8 for Brandon Tinser. Good enough for second place right now. Here we go with racer number 310, Cody Monroe, McCall, Idaho, riding Polaris. Going to be followed by Les Keller and Will Burgess.
And in the blue lane, Taylor Myers comes in with a 105.22, 105.22. I believe that is good enough to put her in the third place position. Unofficially, you'll have Sammy Rogers as your number 1 finisher. Shelly Balls is your number 2 finisher. Taylor Myers is number 3. Taylor Peck, number 4. And Ashlyn Wood, oh, excuse me, not Ashlyn Wood, I apologize. Whitney Archibald as your number 5 finisher for women's 6 stock. Again, that is unofficially. Out first for amateur stock, we'll have Braden Brew, Dylan Hart, Dallin Ruffing, Cole Thomas, and Tanner Thomas. Stick with us for just a minute while we upload the times from the last class, and then we'll get going again.
All right, racer number 310 on the hill, Cody Monroe, McCall, Idaho, riding Polaris right now. Going to be followed by Les Keller and Will Burgess. Once again, we are finaling 600 improved stock. 600 improved stock. These rigs have some mild enhancements. I don't want to say modifications, because modified means boosted or charged. So, just allowed to do a little work on the internals, probably some pipes, that kind of stuff. All right, here we go. This is the tough part right here. He went right in the trench. I think Brandon might have filled the trench up for him and probably shaved a considerable amount of time off that run for Cody Monroe. 57, 32, 5, 7, 32. Good enough for second place. Moving Brandon to third. Pushing Tavern Rupp to fourth as we get ready to go with racer number 147, Les Keller, Kalispell, Montana. 600 improved stock. Riding Polaris, followed by Will Burgess and Dolan Phelps. Brock Sharp is going to wrap up the class. Then we're going to go to 600 mod. 6 mod, we are 4 away. 600 mod, we are 4 away.
My SDI worked itself out.
All right, and we're off and running in the left lane. Out first, number 449, Braden Brew out of Missoula, Montana on a Polaris. Team Brewski, also one of our sponsors for today's race. Up next, Dylan Hart, Dallin Ruffing, Cole Thomas.
Woohoo! New leader right there. 52-35-5-2-3-5 for Les Keller. Puts him out in front. Racer number 541, Wild Will Burgess, Sublimity, Oregon, riding Articat, headed up the hill. Followed by Dolan Phelps, Brock Sharp wrapping up the class. Getting that time early on. All right, going through gate number 7 right now. Will Burgess through 8, 9. This is where things get dicey. Through the trench. Yeah. Up the steep spot. Bring him back over. Come on, Will. That a boy. Now we're racing. Wild Will Burgess up and over with 102.49. 1:02.49. Now, I realize that doesn't necessarily put him in the money right now, but that is going to help the mental things that are probably going on in that boy's head. Up right now, racer number 169, Dolan Phelps, Fishhaven, Idaho, riding Polaris. Brock Sharp going to wrap up the class.
And in the blue lane, Braden Brew comes in with a 101.74, 101.74. And on the hill right now, number 216, Dylan Hart out of Lolo, Montana on a Polaris. So yesterday we were talking about his dad, Shane Hart, who was known as the Flying Hawaiian.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe he's got the nickname Flying Hawaiian Jr., and it looks like he went off the course a little bit, and Hill Help is running to him. So they'll get him all fixed up and sent down, and we'll let you know what the high mark is for Mr. Dylan Hart. Up next, we'll have Dallin Ruffing, Cole Thomas, and Tanner Thomas.
All right. Dolan Phelps getting through the trench pretty neatly right there. Giving it the power. Getting up through gate number 13. Up and over through the lights at 55-31, 5-5, 3-1. Good enough for... That is good enough for second.
All right, and the official high mark is 11.8, 11.8 for Dylan Hart. Up on the hill now, number 227, Dallin Ruffing out of Kimberly, Idaho on a Skidoo, followed by Cole Thomas, Tanner Thomas, and Ian Arnold.
All right, we've got the young Brock Sharp, Moxie Washington, 18-year-old racer, riding Articat on the mountain right now. Going up against some double tough riders that have been doing this a long time. Let's see how this young feller does. He's shown that he has the skills. Through the trench like patting for a dance. This is tricky because they got to give it a lot of power to get up this steep part of the hill, but then they've got to negotiate that turn through gate 13, and Brock Sharp does it up and over at 54.74, 5.474, good enough for second place for that young fella. I'm going to do the math. We're going to do a quick upload, give you the unofficial results, but that was an incredible round of racing right there. 6 mod, be ready. We're going to upload and race you.
Ooh, and Dallin's getting a little western there. Oh, looks like he's going to be headed back down. We'll get a high mark for you here in just a minute.
I'm switching SDI.
And they're going to call that 11.9 for Dallin. 11.9 is the high mark. Up next, number 401, Cole Thomas out of Afton, Wyoming on a Polaris, followed by Tanner Thomas, Ian Arnold, and Hunter Hayden.
All right, if my hash marks are correct right here, this is how things shook out. First place is going to go to Les Keller. Second place going to Brock Sharp. Third place going to Dolan Phelps. Fourth going to Kyle Heap. And fifth place, Cody Monroe. That was an exciting round of racing right there as we get ready to go to 600 modified. Up first going to be racer number 259, Sandy Sletton, Pinedale, Wyoming, riding Polaris. Going to be followed by Dave McClure and Aaron Sturk. When we say modified, we're talking boost. And we got
and
turbo.
noise.
Yeah. And
Just saying.
supercharged. Sandy Sletton on the line. Going to upload for just a moment. We'll be racing again.
Am I back?
All right, 6 mod. We got the green light ready to rock and roll. Racer number 259, Sandy Sletton. Good to see him. First race of the year that he's been out. Runs Bucky's Outdoor. Is that how you say it? Bucky's Outdoor
For just a little.
in Pinedale.
Yes.
Boy can ride. Turbo Polaris snowmobile right here.
Well, and yeah, you're saying, you know, it's his first ride this season. Our season got a little messed up for those people that aren't aware.
That it did.
Because of snow conditions and low amounts of snow at some of the races. We had some postponed and rescheduled and whatnot, so our schedule was a little different, and some of the people that normally would have been racing had other commitments on the weekend that we ended up having Afton last weekend. So
Exactly. Moving things around, postponing, just trying to get some races in.
all right, and Cole Thomas comes in with a 12 high mark at gate 12 for Cole Thomas. Up next, number 120, Tanner Thomas out of Afton, Wyoming, also on a Polaris, followed by Ian Arnold, Hunter Hayden, and Clancy Mahar.
No, it's black.
All right. Well, Sandy Sletton getting started up there. Got a new soft spot. All that power digging in. There's a lot of snow here. There's no shortage of snow at Lost Trail. So for your skiing pleasure, feel free. You could probably be skiing here in June. I'm pretty sure they got that much.
They've got a good amount of snow, yes. And there were a lot of skiers and snowboarders yesterday
Yeah,
enjoying the
700
day.
skiers up here.
Yeah, it was great.
Working in perfect harmony with snowmobiles. I love it. I love it.
Absolutely. We were all very friendly.
It's a common ground with the white fluffy stuff.
All right, all a love of snow.
450 spectators here yesterday.
Is that what the official number was?
Yeah,
That's
450
awesome.
people came to watch.
That's fantastic. And that doesn't count what we have online, which is great.
A whole bunch all over the world. All right, Sandy Sletton coming in with 11.2 high mark, digging in there pretty deep. So we get ready to go with racer number 150, Dave McClure, Swan Valley, Idaho. Now we're talking about boost. This is still boosted, but it's not a turbo on this. It is a Speedworks supercharger. Same philosophy of forcing that air and fuel down the throat of the snowmobile, but it's a little more of an instantaneous response on the Speedworks superchargers. Dave McClure, very distinct sound from this snowmobile. Take a listen. Dave McClure, riding Arctic at Swan Valley, Idaho.
All right, and Tanner Thomas is coming in with an official high mark at gate 11. Gate 11 for Tanner Thomas. Up next, number 302, Ian Arnold out of Glen Rock, Wyoming on a Polaris, followed by Hunter Hayden, Clancy Meager, and Austin Rogers.
Dave McClure up and over with 56-57. Going to start things off with 5-6, 5-7. Putting Dave McClure out in front. We get ready to go with racer number 285 back to Pinedale, Wyoming. Cash or Crash, Aaron Sturck. Riding Polaris.
Keep your eyes on this guy because
Yeah.
it's bound to be an awesome ride.
Spectacular no matter what the end outcome is.
It's either going to be wicked fast or wicked crazy, one or the other. Maybe a little bit of both, really.
Love it.
He's awesome. Oh, and in the blue lane, we have somebody turning out there. They're headed back down, so we'll get a high mark here in a minute. All right, and Ian Arnold is going to get an official high mark of 10.7. That's 10.7 for Ian Arnold. Up next, number 650, Hunter Hayden out of Missoula, Montana on a Skidoo, also part of Team Locksaw, also a sponsor for today's events. Up after him will be Clancy Meager, Austin Rogers, and Lad Udy. Allie Bledsoe and Jackson Rogers will wrap up your amateur stock and will be into pro senior stock with Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, and Grant Meyer.
Oh, we said it'd be good, and it was 5-2-3-2. 5-2-3-2. Aaron Sturck moves into first place right now as we get ready to go with racer number 104, Andy Thomas, Afton, Wyoming, riding Polaris. Got relatives watching in Romania cheering him on here today. Andy going to be followed by Tony Zollinger and Brandon Tittenser. Once again, 600 modified final. 600 modified final going on in the pro lane. Okay, all local racers and 120 racers go over to the Brent's RV and Gull Boats tent. That's where you will be registering.
All right, and in the blue lane, Hunter Hayden comes in with a 104.66, 104.66 for Hunter Hayden, and that is going to be good enough to qualify him second so far. Up next, number 373, Clancy Mahar out of Jackson, Wyoming on a Polaris, followed by Austin Rogers, Lad Udy, Allie Bledsoe, and wrapping up your amateur stock will be Jackson Rogers. Out next, pro senior stock, Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, Grant Meyer.
And Andy Thomas slowing down a little bit there in the trench, but he is through it now. This steep part, you got to be quick on your feet to make that turn through gate 13 after riding that real technical part of the course, 53.32. Oh, man, 5.332. If it wasn't for that little hiccup, I guarantee he'd be a new leader. Good enough for second right now. Up now, racer number 3, Tony Zollinger, Wellsville, Utah, riding Articat, going to be followed by Brandon Tittenser and Russ Tapio.
Woo, that was some fancy riding in the blue lane for Clancy Mahar. And he comes in with a 5.9.86, 5.9.86. That'll put him in first place qualifying so far. Up next, you have number 509, Austin Rogers out of Francis, Utah on a Skidoo, followed by Lad Udy, Allie Bledsoe, and wrapping up your class will be Jackson Rogers. Then we'll be into pro senior stock with Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, and Grant Meyer.
out over the handlebars, but we got it. Tony Zollinger making his way to the top, and it is 57-62-57-6-2. For Tony Zollinger up next, here he comes, part of that climb backcountry team. Another Star Valley racer, racer number 62, Brandon Tittenser, Afton, Wyoming, riding Polaris, followed by Russ Tapio and Tanner Myers. All right, these guys are gaining a lot of speed early on here.
And in the blue lane, that time for Austin Rogers is actually not good. He missed gate 11, so he's going to get a high mark at gate 11 for Austin Rogers. Up next, number 623, Lad Udy out of Smithfield, Utah on an Arctic Cat, followed by Allie Bledsoe and Jackson Rogers will wrap up your amateur stock. We'll be right into pro senior stock. This is a short class. We have Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, and Grant Meyer, and then we'll be into juniors. So Harper Hunsaker, Raiden Lutz, Garrett Tom, and Dawson Ruffing. Though you four age 12 and 13, start getting ready in the pits because you'll be up pretty quickly.
All right, Brandon Tittenser with 54.06. Don't know if you saw that, but he took the high side of that trench again like just butter. It's
nice when everything works out like that.
Love watching Brandon Tittenser ride, and that's why he's part of the Climb Back Country team as we get ready to go right now with racer number 322. Great family right here. Russ Tapio, Battleground, Washington, riding Articat. Going to be followed by Tanner Myers and Garth Kaufman.
Oh no, and it looks like we have another one turning around.
I pushed the choke in a little bit more on my generator. I wonder if that was what the problem was.
Wow. That's where the boost comes in right there, folks. Holy cow. Uh-oh. $54.25.420 for Russ Tapio. Sorry about that.
And in the blue lane, Lad Udy gets a high mark of 11.88. 11.88 for Lad Udy on the hill. Next will be number 131, Miss Allie Bledsoe out of Lolo, Montana on a Skidoo. Also part of Team Locksaw, one of today's sponsors. And wrapping up your class will be Jackson Rogers. And then we'll move into pro senior stock with Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, Grant Meyer. Then juniors age 12 and 13. You guys get ready as well.
All right.
I apologize. We're going to skip the juniors right now and move into the regular juniors after pro senior stock. So we'll have pro senior stock, Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, Grant Meyer, and then we'll move into juniors, Kellen Cook, Chance Jones, Clancy Mahar, Riley Kincaid. So be advised.
Oh, my goodness. What a rodeo and amazing good time there. 54.37. There for a minute, I wasn't sure who was riding who when he went up there through gate 12, but Tanner Myers with 54.37.5437 as we get ready to go with racer number 48, Garth Kaufman, Alta, Wyoming, Speedworks Supercharged Articat getting ready to head up the hill.
For those of you that didn't catch it, if you're doing the locals race or the 120s, if you are doing locals or 120s, sign-ups are at the Skidoo tent where Brett's RV is at. So it's just to the side of the lodge there towards the parking lot. So anyone that needs to sign up for locals or for the 120s, you need to go to the tent by the lodge towards the parking lot.
All right. Garth Kaufman going up and over. I'll tell you, it takes so much skill. 5.735, 5.735 for Garth Kaufman. Don't think that's going to get him in the top 5 at the moment. Up next, racing number 44, Scott Thompson, Logan, Utah, riding Skidoo, followed by Calvin Ehrman and Aaron Kapner.
And Allie's going to come in with an 11.7, officially 11.7 for Allie Bledsoe. Up last in your amateur stock, number 267, Jackson Rogers out of Camas, Utah on a Skidoo. Up next, we'll have pro senior stock, Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, Grant Meyer, and then we'll be running straight into the traditional juniors. So Kellen Cook, Chance Jones, Clancy Mahar, and Riley Kincaid, be ready.
All right, Aaron Sturk, Hayden on tight to the lead. We've got Scott Thompson on the mountain right now, racer number 44 out of Logan, Utah, riding Skidoo. This has got to be a little bit tricky. It's kind of the difference between the superchargers and the turbos. The turbos have a touch of lag. On a smaller motor like this, it's not like your diesel pickup, but there is a little bit of lag time in there. 5.573, 5.573. And when you're trying to pull up out of those trenches and everything like that, you try to feather the throttle a little bit. Well, if it boosts, it's going to go a little further for you and dig you in. This is real technical. It isn't all about horsepower. It's how you ride it. 55.73 for Scott Thompson as we get ready to go with racer number 524C. Calvin Ehrman, Salmon Arm, British Columbia, riding Articat. Aaron Kapner going to wrap up the class. Get ready, 700 stock, 700 stock. Cody Bonney, Taylor Seamers, Les Keller coming at you in 2.
And in the blue lane, we have another high mark. I'll let you know what that is as soon as it officially comes in. All right, and 11.6 is Jackson Rogers' official high mark, 11.6. So unofficially in your amateur stock, your first place finisher is Clancy Mahar, your second place finisher is Braden Brew, and your third place finisher is Hunter Hayden. Those three will receive first place, second place, and third place trophies. So very excited about that. Congratulations to them. And those trophies are from Blake Ruffing and Let's Construction. So we want to give them a huge thanks because these kids pay to play, they pay to race, but they don't actually get monetary places. So Blake and his team and Let's Construction have bonded together and created trophies for him. So that's pretty cool.
Very cool. Very cool. We appreciate those folks. Great people, part of the RMSHA family. All right, Calvin Ehrman going up there with, got a high mark at 10.7, got up through there. Snowmobile left him behind and headed back down, but 10.7 was the mark. That's the highest point that he got to. And last racer in 600 modified right now, racer number 397, Aaron Kapner, Idaho Falls, Idaho, also riding one of those supercharged Speedworks Articat snowmobiles. Listen to this engine roar. I love it.
For those of you online, we're sad you're not here because you could literally feel it
when they go
come
by. And there they go. All right. Lexi's got an announcement, then I got an announcement.
We're having another change in plan. So, yeah, I've actually got a couple of announcements. Clancy Mahar, Hunter Hayden, and Braden Brew. If you are done racing for a few minutes, you can pick up your trophies from Blake behind the timing trailer. He'll have those trophies available for you. So that's Clancy Mahar, Braden Brew, and Hunter Hayden. Your first, second, and third place trophies will be with Blake behind the timing trailer. And also, so we're going to go into pro senior stock right now with Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, and Grant Meyer. And then we're going to go straight into juniors age 12 to 13. They were going to wait for a little bit, but they decided it's a good time to run them. So they're going to be running. So Harper Hansaker, Raiden Lutz, Garrett Tom, and Dawson Ruffing, get ready. And then we'll be into the traditional juniors class. So sorry about the little bit of a mix-up there.
All right. This is how things shook out in 600 modified. First place goes to Casher Crash, Aaron Sturge. Second place, Andy Thomas. Third, going to Brandon Tittenser. Fourth, Russ Tapio. And fifth, Tanner Myers. They're literally all in a line right there. So that is going to wrap up 600 modified, 7 stock on the starting line, doing a quick upload. We'll be right with you shortly. I wasn't calling you names.
Who are you calling short?
Cody, exactly. Up first going to be racer number 854, Cody Bonnie, Helena, Montana, riding Polaris. And by the way, the registration is the Gull Boats 10. That's where we're going to register for 120s and local racers. The Gull Boats 10 is where you need to go.
And that is located on
Over
the
there.
parking lot side of the lodge.
That's
so
right.
anybody signing up for those and signing the waivers, that's where you need to go.
Ooh. A little rough and tumble, trying to stay on the high side and throw those snowbills into the trenches. They're actually kind of creating a little bit of an undercut up there, and Cody Bonnie getting,
Ooh, in that deep trench there.
yeah, snagged up, rocking and rolling, just winding up, digging deeper. It's kind of like quicksand, really.
Yeah, if you don't have enough momentum going through there, it's just going to suck you right in.
Yep, Cody Bonnie going to get a high mark. We'll
Pulled
let
his
you know.
tether there, yep.
Oh, it's deep, too. 10.3.
If you look at the snow on the sides, you can tell just about how deep it is. Looks to be about 4 feet.
Mm-hmm.
And on the blue lane, we are up and running with number 115, Farron Gilbert out of Cascade, Idaho on a Skidoo.
You really got to quit eating in front of a hungry cameraman. Or bring me some.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing, Jeff. Come bring me some.
All right. Still getting Cody Bonnie off the hill on the starting line. Racer number 106, Taylor Seamers, Evanston, Wyoming. Riding Polaris going to be followed by Les Keller and Luke Rainey.
And Farron comes in with a 59.68, 59.68 for Fearless Farron Gilbert. Up on the hill now, number 306, Grant Meyer out of Laramie, Wyoming on an Articat.
All right, Taylor Seamers fired up, green light, go.
Take it back off.
Oh no, and it looks like Grant Meyer is headed back down the hill there. It looks like Hill Help is clobbered themselves onto a sled there to stop it from running down the hill on its own. So we'll have a high mark for you just shortly. And just to go back, Brad Sharp came in with a 55.34, 55.34 for Brad Sharp. Farron Gilbert with a 59.68, and we'll have a high mark for Grant Meyer. So that will be your official placement for Pro Senior Stock. I should say unofficial. Brad Sharp, Farron Gilbert, Grant Meyer. And they're going to call that 11.8 for Grant, 11.8. Now we're going to go into the juniors age 12 to 13, and this is going to be entertaining, folks. You probably want to keep an eye on this.
Oh, yeah.
What they're going to do is they're going to open the juniors age 12 to 13. They have to hit in the blue lane, gates 1 through 7, all 7 gates, and then from 7 to the top, they are free to go in whatever route they can make it through. And at gate 15, they have to go through the lights. So again, that's gates 1 through 7 they have to hit, and then they are on a free path up to gate 15. So this ought to be entertaining.
Hill Help is just excited about this. They can't wait.
Excited, nervous.
Yeah. Probably going to need to take some B12 shots and IVs up there after this one.
Well, you know, they might get a little of adrenaline.
There's a lot of real estate up there.
There is a lot of real estate, and they might have to do some ducking and dodging.
Yeah. Well, it looks like we're getting Taylor Seamer's kayaked out of there. Get our official high mark here in a second. I know it's a 8-something. Man, I did not expect to see it. Actually, I was kind of speculating a little bit that we were going to develop some other trenches up there, sure enough, because that undercut that we were talking about, I was like, I think we're going to have some problems on these lower gates. And
It'll happen, yeah.
yeah, that's how we find the best racers. And they're the
Absolutely.
ones that get the check. All right, Taylor Seamer's out, get his high mark. I think it's a 8-1 or something like that. We'll clear that up, but you saw where it was at. Up next, racer number 147, Les Keller, Kalispell, Montana. Riding Polaris is going to be followed by Luke Rainey and Seth Wilson.
All right, it looks like we're going to get going with these juniors, age 12 and 13. Out first, number 435, Harper Handsaker out of Camas, Utah on a Skidoo. Followed by Raiden Lutz, Garrett Tom, and Dawson Ruffing.
Sure enough, Les Keller getting it done, but definitely getting slowed down on those lower turns. We don't have a time on the board yet, so we need to get a racer up and over. Looks like it is going to be Les Keller. Yeah. 55, 55, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, yeah. All right, here we go. Another one of the racers, part of the Climb Backcountry Team. Elite organization right there. The racer number 303, Luke Rainey, Thane, Wyoming, riding Polaris, followed by Seth Wilson and Garth Kaufman. Babe. 5405. Your head's in my way. 5405. Your new leader right there. 5405 for Luke Rainey. Up next, racer number 89, Seth Wilson, Santaquin, Utah, riding Polaris. Going to be followed by Garth Kaufman and Cody Monroe. Luke Rainey in the lead right now. Les Keller in second.
Harper Handsaker on the hill in the left lane doing a fantastic job there. And it looks like he's going to get a time of 5:9.64. 5:9.64 for Harper Handsaker. Up next, number 125, Raiden Letts out of Garden City, Utah on a Polaris, followed by Garrett Tom and Dawson Ruffing will wrap up your juniors age 12-13. Up next, our traditional juniors, Kellen Cook, Chance Jones, Clancy Mahar, and Riley Kincaid.
Oh, man. Oh, he's going again. Probably ain't going to be a run that's going to get in the money, but you ought to shake his hand anyway. Seth Wilson got pointed every which way but the right one and stuck it in the trench, got it back out, and he
headed over the
is
top.
up and over. He needs some serious style points for that, even though we can't give him. I think we should have the right to do that. 1:12.16 for Seth Wilson. Well done. Now we're going back to Garth Kaufman, racer number 48. Garth Kaufman out to Wyoming. Name all over the country in the snowmobile industry. Mechanic for the Hibbert race team.
Good heads up by the hill help there, getting out of Mr. Raiden Letts' way, who comes in with a 5:7.23, 5:7.23. Up next, number 24, Garrett Tom out of Victor, Idaho on a Skidoo. And wrapping up your juniors, age 12-13, will be Dawson Ruffing. You know, Bart called them the juniors.
Junior juniors.
I think maybe that might stick, the juniors.
I like it.
I like it,
Pretty self-explanatory.
right? And then we'll do our traditional juniors, or I guess I could just call them juniors
Mm-hmm. Well, and those kids
after
are
that.
pretty dang smart because they get as close to the hill help as they can.
Right?
At all
Which
times,
is
yeah.
great idea. So we'll see what Garrett can do on this beautiful hill today.
Five, 7, 6, 9. 5, 7, 6, 9 for Garth Kaufman. Good enough for third place right now as we get ready to go with racer number 310, Cody Monroe, McCall, Idaho. Riding players followed by Tanner Myers and Jeremy Harvey.
Oh no, Garrett got out of that trench or that lane there. He turned out and he's headed back down. He's going to get a high mark of 6.5 for Garrett Tom, high mark of 6.5. Up next, number 218, Dawson Ruffing out of Kimberly, Idaho on a Skidoo, and he will wrap up your juniors. And we'll be into juniors with Kellen Cook, Chance Jones, Clancy Mahar, Riley Kincaid, and Caleb Adams. Gentlemen, be warming up your sleds.
All right. Interesting watching these racers trying to avoid those shells and step out of those trenches. Not paying off for Cody Monroe right there, though. You just never know which way you're going to tip once you're riding. Very little contact. Try to lean to the outside so you don't fall in the trench. And if you go too far, then you
Then
tip
you're
over. You're
stuck
pointing
in.
downhill. Gravity takes over. Wow. High mark for Cody Monroe. All right, Cody making his way across the hill, going to get him down safe and sound. We'll get his official high mark for you here in just a sec.
And in the blue lane, Dawson Ruffing took the same line as Harper Handsaker, and he comes in with a 1:14.32, 1:14.32. Unofficially, Raiden Letts will be first, Harper Handsaker second, Dawson Ruffing, and Garrett Tom fourth, excuse me. And I think we should give these juniors a huge round of applause and a couple
Absolutely.
haulers. They did an amazing job up there today. It takes a lot of guts to climb that hill, especially at age 12 and 13.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Way to go, gentlemen. Good job.
All
Up-
right. Oh, sorry. Let me
You're
just jump
good.
in here real fast. Racer number 2, Tanner Myers, Soda Springs, Idaho, riding Polaris on the mountain right now. Going to be followed by Jeremy Harvey and Riley Sprunger.
And we need Kellen Cook, our first junior, to get to the line. Kellen Cook to the line, please. Up first, we'll have number 29, Kellen Cook, out of Ogden, Utah, on a Polaris, followed by Chance Jones, Clancy Mahar, Riley Kincaid, and Caleb Adams.
I'll tell you, I love watching Tanner. Every time I think he's getting bucked off his sled, he just kicks his feet up in the air and looks for it, lands on it again, and off he goes with a 56-26-2-1. That is good enough for third place right now.
And that's in the Pro 7 stock.
That's right, Pro. I appreciate you reminding me of that. Up next, racer Pro 6, Jeremy Harvey, Riverton, Utah, riding Polaris, followed by Riley Sprunger and Dolan Phelps. Brandon Tittenson wrapping up Class 700 improved. Be ready. I have Riley Sprunger, Butte, Montana, riding Polaris. I shouldn't have said that too quick. He actually is in the money right now with that time. Riley Sprunger going to tear it up right now. Dolan Phelps, Brandon Tittenson wrapping it up, and then Brandon is first in in 700 improved, but I believe we'll probably drop him down about 5 and run him up after that. Got a little conflict. Brandon Tittenson running back to back. We'll let you know where he's going to land.
And the official high mark for Kellen Cook is going to come in at 8.7. 8.7 for Kellen Cook. Up next, we'll have number 347, Chance Jones out of Smoot, Wyoming, on a Skidoo, followed by Clancy Mahar, Riley Kincaid, and Caleb Adams.
All right, Riley Sprunger handling it like a boss. Kind of got slowed down right there. Going to give it everything he's got to get up over and moving over the top. Hanging in there. 58-44, 5-8-4-4 for Riley Sprunger. I'm gonna have to start doing some math pretty quick. Here we go. Dolan Phelps, Fishhaven, Idaho, riding Polaris, race number 169, getting ready to go. Brandon Tittenson wraps up the Class 700 improved. Be ready, we're 2 away. $57.96, 5796. Just enough to get into the top 5. He is on the bubble right now as we get ready to go with racer number 62, part of the Climb Backcountry team. Brandon Tittenson, Afton, Wyoming, riding Polaris. These guys pay attention to, that's one of my favorite things about Climb when I went toward the factory right there, and I've learned this about just about every company. Same with Charmac Trailers. The attention to detail. It's not just the product, it's every part of the workings of Climb in there. The way that the building is designed, how it can be expanded to, the efficiency, very green company, all LEDs, very energy efficient. Every aspect of Climb, family atmosphere with all the employees, everybody loves their job, and when they love their job, they're going to put out an amazing product. That is Climb, the official outerwear of the Rocky Mountain States Hill Climb Association. Brandon Tittenson getting through gate 11. Oh, man. He had a full head of steam right there. Can't believe it. Brandon Tittenser is going to make a high mark. That will unofficially, things are going to go like this. Up first place, Luke Rainey. Second place, Les Keller. Third place, Tanner Myers. Fourth place, Garth Kaufman. And fifth place,